Okay, welcome back. Actually, yes, we do have Dr. Alexander Edionwe. He is the president and CEO of AFAS International Group, and his company is positioned as crop production, animal and livestock production, fish, feed mill. They do all of that. And since we've been talking about this crisis here between farmers and herders, it seems unending. He's got a perspective, and we thought to hear from him in terms of what he's been doing and what can be done here. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, it's really good morning because you're keeping up really early to join us today. And thank you for that, for keeping you awake in the very early hours, joining us from the States. Well,
Exactly. Yes,
you know,
yes.
many are looking for a way out of what is going on. How do we ensure that we don't keep talking about this kind of issues where countries, nations are moving far ahead, grappling with development matters that concern their future? Now, give us your perspective. I mean, you've seen, you read what we're grappling with here, and how do you relate with that, especially in context of what you are doing in the States there?
Yes. Thank you very much, Trebling. The truth is that we are in what I regard as crossroad, and it depends on our perception of our position right now. Yes, we identify problem. Normally, if you identify problem, all you have to do is to go through the process of decision making to address the problem. At the end, you want solution. But in this case, for instance, the question I was given that we look at insecurity as it relates to, banding, open grazing. That is one way. But before we even get there, we need to understand what is involved in agriculture, because that is the novelty now. That is the area of focus within and outside the country. So therefore, we have to address it either as a problem. If it's a problem, we go through the decision process. But we can see it as an opportunity to really lay a firm foundation in addressing this sector of our economy so that we can come out, smelling like roses. When we see it as an opportunity, then first we have to understand the fundamentals, the basis, where we start, so that we can lay good foundation. And we talk of insecurity, we also look at that sector, at food insecurity, because our basic need, which will be, food, roof over our head, shelter, and we also talk about, clothing, which we can get from this sector. And looking at it giving a holistic view, seeing it as a system with several elements. For instance, when you look at agriculture in general, we just focus on the initial step, which is good, which is the primary production of what we need to meet the need of agriculture. Okay? First, we have to realize that the purpose of the strength of agriculture is to meet our basic need. And in meeting that basic need, there are a lot of other areas that come with it that will help us to address other issues. For instance, we're talking of unlocking natural resources to meet these basic needs, which I already alluded to, which is food, shelter, and clothing. We also can unleash human capacity or capital, which will involve, job creation, and also diversifying our economy that will help us.
Let me jump in and ask you this. I mean, you've got a PhD in human nutrition and hospitality from University of Nebraska, right? Lincoln in Nebraska. So mindset differ here. So because, I mean, how do you address that if you have people's way of life who think, well, this is all they know, this is how they know it, and you know the thing about change, how difficult it is with change for people to internalize or accept and then move on with it. So how much of a challenge do you think that is? Because yes, of course, you've seen the benefit because that's what you do there. How do you suggest or bring that to bear in a climb where it may be a little challenging despite the benefits?
Of course. That is what I said. You see it as what? Opportunity. What to do is not is not hidden. It's already existing. We don't have to reinvent the wheels. I can give an example. We talk of some other parts of the world that at a certain time we were at the same level. How do they, change their status? They went out, they acquired the knowledge and brought them home and improved the environment. What we are looking at is environment and people. Nutrition you talk about, what is nutrition? It's providing the nutritional requirement for growth, for doing work, and for excelling in area. You need, that's the basic need. The same thing with animals. Taking, for example, the insecurity we are experiencing between the herdmen and the farmers. There is a big opportunity there to have a symbiotic relationship between this group. For instance, we talk about grazing, and now, as per the question I was giving, that no more open grazing. But there are other ways you can also address that issue.
So could you tell us then, what structures would you like us to put in place if we're to begin or take steps to ensure that we have that kind of change in mindset and get the kind of results you are getting over there?
Okay, what we need to do is to understand the fundamentals involved in what we are doing. For instance, agriculture, you have to know the circle of what is involved in agriculture, the elements of agriculture, which start from production, processing, transport involved there, service, food service, or retailing. There's a lot that you can do. And with this, we have an opportunity to create jobs that will address, the youth problem that we are having due to lack of, jobs. So what we do, just taking this open grazing, we have ranching, which people are, mentioning that frequently. We also have feedlot management. And then if you don't dig into that, they are the individual, like the ranching, it's really not the duty of a state government to be involved in ranching. It's individual cooperative. We can put them together. People who own what is already in existence, that the cattle, I'm not quite sure if the herders or those who are grazing the cattle are the owners. The owner of those cattle could come together with the farmers. We know of, say, for instance, hay business. You don't even have to be in any of these. You can go into that. That's a big area. With the availability of technology that can bring now and even domesticate those technology, you can do wonders. So these are some of the areas we have to, with time, we'll be able to take one area and see how you improve on it.
Well, yes, indeed. We will definitely make out that time in the days ahead such that we could further break it down and look at several other components of what we can do over here to ensure that this is sorted. But we must appreciate your time staying up very early and at least sharing those perspectives with us this morning,
Yes.
Dr. Alexander Edionwe.
Thank you.
Well, back in a moment. Stay with us.